Hey guys, this is Nathan Booth, and I'm just making a video so that I can kind of talk about what I need to do between now and the final release candidate for this class, so on May 29th. What do I need to get done by then, and how and when I'm planning to do it? So, if you've been following along with my project, then you'll have seen that I have been struggling. Really, that's the best word for it. I have tried to do a few things and have failed at them and have lost time because I've just really focused on them for a while. Like I was trying to work on something since yesterday and it never pulled through, and then I realized it was a dumb idea, anyways. So I've been having a little bit of a rough time, but at the same time, I'm really starting to get there. So, the first thing I need to do, obviously, for this week so that it can be adequately tested is actually get all of the functionality in my application working. Um, what that entails is actually primarily visual elements. Um, I know how to save data on there. I know how to filter the data. Now, it all comes to displaying that data correctly. And so that is the primary thing I need to do before I can actually adequately test my app. Now, currently, um, I'm still waiting to hear back from a few people on schedule-wise, but I have a few people that are wanting to try and take my app for a spin, either on Monday or Tuesday of this week. And so what that means is the remainder of tonight, um, all of tomorrow, and then all of Monday if it's on Tuesday, or at least as much time leading up to whenever we actually meet, is going to be spent polishing the app up so that it is ready to be tested. Um, right now, my primary focus is the character creation for obvious reasons, and then it will become the character display. Character creation, where I'm at right now, is I have all the information ready to be put in. I know how I'm doing that. It's just building the right view construction for it. So I was looking at swipes for a while. Instead, what I'm going to be doing is just a master detail flow type thing. Um, it makes more sense for this much data, and I really should have gone with it from the beginning. So basically, on the first page of character creation, you type in your character's name and their level, and then it grabs those, pushes it to the next view, which is going to be a master detail view for you to be able to choose your race. You're going to have your different races on the side, and then whenever you click on one, it's actually going to give you all of the details about that race, and then a button to choose that race if you want it. That way, you don't have to press an extra button in order to actually see what you're committing yourself to. And it should be relatively dynamic, and it should be a very simple UI element to for users to use for these purposes. After that, exact same thing for classes. So that's not going to really take much work because it would pretty much just be copying and pasting that. And then after that, it's just another page where it kind of collects a few text elements. So that should not take long at either. Um, I am aiming to have all of that completed by afternoon tomorrow. I have a lot of it completed already, so it should be there. Especially considering some of it is just doing the same thing twice. Um, that's realistic goal. Well, that is goal with enough time, kind of contingency type thing. I would like to have it done before tomorrow morning, if possible. Um, it's just depending on what errors I hit. After having that completed, I'm going to aim for displaying it. So what displaying it will entail is you're going to have buttons that are generated in accordance to how many characters exist on for your user, and then we're going to need to have it where whenever you click one, it prevents you with a few fragments that you can switch between that will display your data adequately. Once I have that done, and that is to be done by tomorrow evening at latest, needs to be done, needs to be finished, needs to be working. After that, I'm going to use those same concepts to make it where you can see the notes. The notes will be very simple. I've already got it where you should be able to display it. It's just a matter of getting the buttons to appear the way I want them to. Shouldn't be too bad. I think I found the right way to approach that, so it should be pretty good. But once I have that, that's 2 pieces of functionality that are required for my app. Well, 3 pieces really: character creation, character management, and then dungeon notes. And that will all be done by tomorrow evening. If I hit my goal, like I'm aiming to, and I'm pretty certain I will, then I'm going to also try and make a homebrew section. So what this would allow is for whenever you're doing the character creation process, right, whenever it goes to your race, you can actually enter in your own values for the race. What it would do, wouldn't necessarily have all of your descriptions, things like that, but you could enter in manually your hit dice and how it changes your strength values. That way, if you're doing a custom campaign entirely where you have custom classes, you can use that. Otherwise, if there's a class or a race that's not provided by the app yet, you can still put it in and still manage it through this app. So when all that's said and done, then the next section is the lore section. Now, the lore section is also doing a master detail flow. So it's going to be a lot of reused code, and I've already built the filters. So then it would just be grabbing the data from those filters and putting them in and enabling a few more filters. So that's practically finished. So I will have that done by Monday. Now, there's going to be glitches, and so that's why I'm wanting to test on Monday and Tuesday. And there's still going to be functionality that I need to add in throughout the week. This functionality that I mentioned is things like feats, skills, spells, and inventory. These are things that I have in the database. I don't have all of your inventory items in the database yet, and I don't have all of your spells in that database yet because it's a really large amount of items. But these are things that I'm going to be putting in throughout this week. I would like to have the database completed with spells and inventory on Tuesday. And I would like to have the feats and skills and inventory system where you can go through and add them to your character finished by Wednesday. Yeah. And that way, whenever I actually present my release candidate this week, I should have most, if not everything, that's required functionality-wise, and I can really just focus on prettying up the application, really focus down on user experience, make sure I have it handling memory correctly, and basically making it an app that I would want to download instead of really bad thing. So as far as visually, what I need to do, I need to make the graphics I'm going to use. I have changed the color of the status bar. I like it. I kind of changed it just to see if I really do like how it displays on a tablet screen, and I do. It looks nice. That's the action bar. And so what's next is I need to build images or find images For your races, I need to find images for your classes. And I'd like to implement a system where a user can either choose an image for their characters and their notes, things like that, or out of already made ones that are in like the drawables. And I would also like to maybe make it where they can upload an image. So I'm going to play with that some and see where that goes. What else? That I would like to have done by the end of this week. By Monday next week is what I will say. That way I have some buffer space to where I can really actually put out good images. Now, while the content I'm using text-wise is all legally attained items, I don't think I can necessarily use the images from the books, and so I am going to be either finding images that I can use or building my own. So it is going to take a little bit of time to do that, and that's why I say Monday. I would like to have all of the races images done by, let's go with Sunday. It's kind of weird planning some of the things. I'm not really going to be able to work on anything on Friday, unfortunately. My sister's getting married, so kind of a big day, and we're going to be up north where I won't have as steady of a connection, so I might not be able to get quite as much done on that as I'd like, which is also why I'd like to have all my images done by Monday. Now, by having all of this done by Monday, not this upcoming week, but the final week, that gives me Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday to ultimately polish Dungeon Companion to the point where it can be amazing. Some things that I'm probably going to do during that week, I might do this during the visual process, but I am going to make it more than just tablets and make it where it works across many different screen sizes. It's still going to be pushed primarily towards tablets because I think that's what makes the most sense. But the fact is, the tablet market is still sort of narrow for something that's not necessarily a full-blown game. Oh, and that reminds me, this week, whenever I'm working on the character creation. So by tomorrow, one of the things I'm going to be building is a dice roller for putting in your attributes for your character. So, so like strength, dexterity, constitution, wisdom, intelligence, charisma, that stuff. That will be a basic dice roller where you roll 4d6s, which are 6-sided die, and then you take the highest numbers and combine them. And you do that for each of those ability scores, and then you put them where you want them in accordance to your character. So I'm going to be implementing that, and ultimately that's going to become an actual full-blown dice roller. That is kind of at the bottom of my priorities. I would even say it's below making it where it looks nice on multiple sizes of tablets and on phones, have it where it actually can be serviceable on a phone, which will require a pretty large UI change. So that's also final week. But I would like to have a fully functional dice roller. So for those who don't play the game, you have 6 dice, technically 7 dice, but 2 of the dice are pretty much the same. They would be handled a little bit differently, but they're the same amount of numbers. And those dice are, you have your d20, which is a 20-sided die, duodecahedron, I believe is what it's called. that is what you use for a lot. So that would be the first dice to get in. After that, you have your D6s are used a lot, so I'll have that. It's your 6-sided dice, standard cube. You have your D10s, your D8s, and your D4s. And then you have a thing that's called your decanter, something like that. And that is also a D10, but instead of having the numbers 1 through 10 on it, it has multiples of 10. So it has 0, 0, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, etc. up until 90. And that's like a percentage type dice. It's not used too often. I haven't used it yet that I can think of, but I still will be implementing that. So final thing to get in, if there's time for it, will be that dice roller, just to kind of tidy it up. If I find myself way ahead of schedule, what I would like to do is circle back to the dungeon section and either build a companion app to go with it for Dungeon Masters, or actually go with the original goal for that section, which was to have it where your Dungeon Master could create a few tools. They would have a few tools. They would be able to create non-playable characters, so NPCs like townspeople, just important people you might meet that they want to have readily available, and monsters, create both of them, be able to put them in where they need them, things like that, keep track of them, maybe keep track of their roles for them. That would take a lot, because that would be adding in another manual or two, but if I am ahead of schedule, those would be things to get in by the final Thursday. Alongside that, it would be cool to actually implement kind of a thing where you actually have interaction between different people who have made accounts for this. So that would also kind of be in that section. But in scope right now, to go over, I might have some of the days wrong here if I do go based on the first days. This is just going off of what I think I said. By Monday, well, by tomorrow evening, I want to have all of my character creation done, except for skills and feats and spells and inventory, those things. I want to have it where you can build your character, though, and go in and see the different things about them. So that's by tomorrow evening. That would also be coupled with the dungeon notes section finally showing everything. After that, we're going to be... gosh, I've made a long video. I apologize for that. Just go based on the earlier times. I'm going to go through and I'm going to type them all out so that you don't have to watch all of this. Hopefully it uploads right. If not, I guess you won't see this. But if you have watched to this point, thank you very much for your patience. I know I'm kind of just talking to myself in this to figure out schedule, but it helps me to actually talk about it rather than try and write it out. So thank you for listening to my ramblings. If you have any problems with my schedule, let me know. I will be posting, I think, daily video updates over the next 2 weeks. So I think that would just be a better way to actually go over my progress rather than putting little text things. So wish me luck. I wish all of you good luck. Lyndon, Josh, you guys are amazing. Um, thank you for bearing with me, and I look forward to talking with you all on Monday. Have a good evening. Bye.